Ini ma'am. Please rise.
The second regular session of the 14th Sangguniang Panlungsod is now called to order. Kindly take your seat for the roll call.
Honorable Cecilia B. Veluz Diaz, City Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer, present. Honorable Jesse R. Albios, City Councilor, present. Honorable Joselito S. A. Del Rosario, City Councilor, present. Honorable Gil G. Rosales, City Councilor, absent. Honorable Melvin Ramon G. Buenafe, City Councilor, present. Honorable Hilda Gail R. Abunal Gomez, City Councilor, present. Honorable Vidal P. Castillo, City Councilor, present. Honorable Jose C. Ranyola, City Councilor, present. Honorable Jose B. Perez, City Councilor, present. Honorable Salvador M. Del Castillo, City Councilor, present. Honorable Antonio B. Beltran, City Councilor, present. Honorable Ma Corazon M. Peñaflor, Liga ng mga Barangay President and ex-officio member, present. Honorable Mary Kyle Francine B. Tripulca, Sangguniang Kabataan Federation President and ex-officio member, present. And Honorable Jill L. Rosales, City Councilor, present. Madam Chairman, this is a quorum.
Okay. Next item.
Prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome passion. Give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice. Give us the foresight to know what the future may devise. Give us the courage and strength to seek the truth and what is good. Give us the facility of language that we may be understood. And finally, our Lord, make us worthy public servants of the city. We deeply love and highly honor Naga City, the heart of Bicol. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Pambansang awit.
Again, good morning. Next item.
Privilege time.
Anybody who'd like to avail of the privilege time? Honorable Jill Rosales.
Madam Presiding Officer, Vice Mayor Nene de Asis, fellow City Councilors, guests, friends, good morning. Last June 15, 2022, the DILG issued Memorandum Circular number 2022-083 to provide guidelines on the accreditation of civil society organizations and the selection of representatives to the local special bodies. We had the matter referred to the SP Committee on People Empowerment for consideration and for it to recommend such appropriate actions. Dear colleagues, the said memorandum circular issued last month is already very instructive as to the conduct of the inventory of civil society organizations in the city of Naga and the important role of the civil society organizations desk officer in the overall accreditation process and in general the promotion of active participation of the private sector in local governance. Through Executive Order 2021-003, the city government had already established the CSO desk office and its officer to execute the mandates under the said memorandum circular and spearhead the handling of all CSO-related concerns of the city government, including the implementation of the relevant provisions of the People Empowerment Ordinance. With this at hand, Madam Chair, and on the basis of the ILG Memorandum Circular 2022-083, I am proposing two measures this morning. First, the passage of a resolution directing the CSO desk officer to conduct an inventory of CSOs in the city of Naga for the update of the CSO directory and further directing the CSO desk office to be at the forefront of the city's compliance with the guidelines provided under the said DILG Memorandum Circular as to the accreditation of civil society organizations. Second, the refiling of my proposed ordinance on the establishment of a CSO desk at the JMR Center for Good Governance, defining its purpose and functions, mandating the designation of the CSO desk officer, and providing funds thereof. In closing, I express and extend my full support to the 14th Sangguniang's chairman of the People Empowerment Committee, the Honorable Gail Abunal Gomez. We had a short meeting yesterday where I had the opportunity to brief the good councilor on the status of civil society organizations with the NCPC and the city's efforts to continuously encourage them to take part in local governance. I know that under her leadership in the committee, the City of Naga will continue to be the trailblazer on people participation and good governance.
Thank you, Honorable Rosales. Anybody else would like to avail of the privileged time? Are you raising your hand, Honorable? Okay, none. So next item.
Reading and approval of the order of business.
Honorable Salvador del Castillo.
Madam Chair, I move to dispense with the reading of the order of business and move to include the following three items. The two items are certified by the Mayor as urgent. Under special business for order, Madam Chair, number 8, the request for a passage of a resolution defining the authority of the acting city treasurer and Mrs. Baculo, the local revenue officer and acting city treasurer, to sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Naga checks and warrant. The limit for Mrs. Baculo is 500,000 pesos and unlimited for the city treasurer. Under unfinished business, Madam Chair, the request of the city mayor for the ratification of the deed of donation by and between the City Government of Naga and Mr. Eduardo Mercado. And under new business, Madam Chair, the request of the mayor for the passage of a resolution reverting to the unappropriated balance, the amount of 3,873,000 pesos, 425 and 97 from salary savings to cover additional appropriation for fuel, oil, and lubricant and for electricity expenses of the Office of the Mayor. With the inclusion, Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the order of business.
Again, comment on Honorable Del Rosario, inclusion.
The Indulgence Committee on Rules Chair, I'd like to request that we also include, Madam Chair, in today's session, a resolution congratulating Dr. Raquel Riapor of the Central State University of Agriculture, Sibisua, native of Naga City, for being awarded as an Instabright International Awardee for the year 2022 as an item under the Special Business and Order, Madam Chair.
There is no draft copy of the resolution.
Item number 9, Madam Chair.
Item number 9, the
Yes,
special business.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Dahil na, number 11 na yan.
Number...
So there are only 8 items under resolution.
8 items. 9 is the ano.
Yes,
yung
Madam Chair. The draft will be presented before the end of the session, Madam Chair.
Under our rules, Madam Chair, all proposals should be submitted on or before 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
We deliberated, Madam Chair, during our finalization of the rules that at any point during the approval of the agenda, a member of the council may raise a point so that he may include in the agenda matter that he wishes to include, Madam Chair. And I think it was clearly understood by the chair during our discussion, Madam Chair.
Honorable Del
With the
Castillo.
approval of the of 2/3 of the council, Madam Chair, then we can include that.
Okay, the members are agreeable to the motion of the Honorable Del Rosario to include the resolution. Does anybody second the motion? Second. So we can go to the votation if this will be included in today's session. Those are in favor to include the matters raised by the Honorable Del Rosario, kindly raise your right hand. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Majority of the members, so this will be included as item number 9.
Number 9.
Okay, item number 9. Next item. Okay, Honorable Rosales.
Also, Madam Chair, with the indulgence of the Chair of the Committee on Rules, I sent the draft resolution and ordinance to the Secretariat. The subject matter of the privilege speech, which I had just made. First, a resolution directing the CSO Desk Office to conduct the inventory and update of the CSO directory and to take the lead in the compliance of the City Government of the DILG Memorandum Circular 2022-083 and the proposed ordinance under new business for referral to the appropriate committee. The proposed resolution, Madam Chair,
Under unfinished
I
business.
propose it be included under SBO.
SBO. Okay, Honorable Del Castillo, was there a copy submitted to the Honorable Del Castillo?
Madam Chair, I have not seen a copy, but the ordinance can be, upon receipt of the copy, it can be included under new business.
As under business,
New business.
new
The
business. So the ordinance under new business. How about the resolution?
We have not seen a copy of
Do
the
you have a copy?
draft resolution, Madam.
Where's the draft resolution? Kisay pick submit. Kindly flash. Honorable Del Castillo.
With the concurrence of the body, we include that under item number 10 of the SBO.
Under
Number 10.
item number 10.
just a mere directive, Madam.
So, the agenda with the following inclusions is now approved. Next item.
Special business order, item number 1.
Honorable Kylie Tripulca.
Can see that there's another one, a proposed ordinance. Is that separate from the resolution? So I think we should have a
This
motion
will be
for...
included under new business. The chair of the rules have already agreed.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Had already approved. It's number 8. So next item. Item number 1.
Item number 1, proposed resolution authored by Honorable Hilda Gail R. Abunal, congratulating and commending Valerie R. A. Abriol, grade 4 pupil of Blessed Lights International Christian Academy, for winning second place in the 2022 Singapore and Asian School Math Olympiad competition.
Honorable Hilda Gail Abunal Gomez.
Madam Chair, for the purpose of time, may I present a summary of the 5 resolutions congratulating and commending the following students of Blessed Lights International Christian Academy for winning various awards. Valerie Abriol, who won second place in the 2022 Singapore and Asian Schools Olympiad last April 17, 2022. And for winning credit award in the International Mathematics Assessment for Schools competition last February 5, 2022. Another resolution for Ziona Guimaray Silver Award in the 2021 Asian Science and Mathematics Olympiad for primary schools in the qualifying round competition. And another resolution for the same student for earning a merit award in the same competition, but this time in the national round. Another resolution for Kisha Cheri Sandejo for winning first place in the 2022 Singapore and Asian Schools Math Olympiad competition last April 17, 2022. So, Madam Chair, may I move for the passage of the 5 resolutions congratulating and commending the aforementioned students of Blessed Lights International Christian Academy.
In a second. Okay, 5 resolutions. Approved. Next item.
Item number 6A. First endorsement dated July 8, 2022, Abisano, the City Mayor, forwarding the Memorandum of Agreement between Bicol Medical Center and the City College of Naga relative to the affiliation and training of the latter's midwifery students, requesting authority to enter into said memorandum.
Honorable Ranyola.
The memorandum of agreement between the Naga City College, the City College of Naga, and the Medical Center relative to the affiliation and training of the midwifery students. So may I move that we authorize City Mayor Nelson Ligacion to enter into a memorandum of agreement between the Medical Center represented by Dr. Ronnie Gigantoni III, Medical Center Chief 2, for the affiliation and training of the midwifery students. I so move.
In a second. Okay, approved. Next item.
Letter dated July 7, 2022, Abisano, the City Mayor, requesting for a resolution seeking assistance of the Department of Public Works and Highways in financing and in implementing a number of priority infrastructure projects of the City Government of Naga.
Honorable Del Castillo.
With our present financial predicament, we need to secure financing for our major projects from the national government. So with that request of the Mayor, on granting collective motion, I move that we pass several resolutions for each project addressed to the DPWH, Madam Chair.
So how many resolutions? How
Yes.
many
Individual
budgets?
resolution.
10 resolution. Ay, 10.
Yes.
Pira. Pakitaas daw, 10. 10
10 for the
bypass road.
bypass road and 4 for the convergence road.
So one resolution each project?
14.
14 resolutions.
Joint and collective motion, Madam Chair.
On joint and collective motions, 14 resolutions is approved. Next, Honorable Del Rosario.
Ang corollary to this, Madam Chair, I'd like to propose 2 resolutions asking the DPWH, reiterating our previous request, Madam Chair, to the DPWH for the widening of Balatas-Cararayan Road. Balatas-Cararayan.
Kabali.
No, that's bypass. We are talking there of bypass. I'm talking
But
of...
there's road Langon, Cararayan.
that's a different thing, Madam Chair.
It's a different
Magsaysay, number 4 talks of Magsaysay, Balatas, Cararayan, Maharlika, Del Rosario, bypass road. That's bypass. I'm talking of road widening to cover the footsteps yung ng office ng yung bahay ni Vice Mayor Diasis. And also yung bahay ni Councilor Del Castillo sa just reiterate, Madam Chair, that resolution. Kasi yung kanto ng Cararayan, San Isidro, naka-wide na eh. Magayon na ito eh. Pero ining Cararayan down to Balatas, dyan sa may radio station,
Into
Daipa.
2025.
For the next, i-reiterate lang, Madam Chair. And number 2, yung kanto ng Bagong Bayan, Kiborak, pasiring duman sa may Kamaligan. I think there's no harm of reiterating our previous request, Madam Chair, for the expansion of these roads. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The Committee on Rules, can that be included?
I think it's related to that request, Madam Chair, and we have already acted previously on that. So,
But this is now addressed to DPWH.
yes, address to DPW.
2 resolutions.
Additional 2 resolutions.
On joint and collective motion.
Yes, Madam.
Ay, dai, agihan siya ron po. On joint and collective motion. Approved. Next item. Honorable Melvin Benafe.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. In connection with the preparation of the Peace and Order and Public Safety Plan of the City of Naga for the year 2022 to 2025, I am invited, Madam Chairman, to the conduct of this seminar workshop for its drafting, and I deem it very important for me to be present in that activity. So I am requesting, Madam Chairman, to be excused from the proceedings now of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. I am aware of the agenda for today, and I would like to manifest that whatever are the decisions made in this council regarding the agenda, I will adhere to such decision. Thank you,
Okay,
Madam
thank
Chair.
you, Honorable Benafe. You can now be excused from the session. Next item.
Letter dated July 7, 2022 of the Acting City Treasurer requesting for passage of a new resolution authorizing the authorizing her and the Acting Assistant City Treasurer, Cecilia Imbacolo, to sign for and behalf of the City Government of Naga concerning withdrawals from endorsement of negotiation of checks that account with existing depository banks of the City Government of Naga.
Honorable Del Castillo.
The previous withdrawing granted, Madam Chair, does not speak of the amount for the signatories, particularly the acting city treasurer and the acting assistant city treasurer. With that request, we will be defining the authority as to the amount that they are authorized to sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Naga. So, para malinaw, Madam Chair, na si acting city treasurer, mayo siyang limit. But the acting assistant has a limit as to the amount she can sign. Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's the request, Madam Chair. And I think it is just proper that we put a limit on the authority granted to them.
So what will be the
So
limit
with
of
that,
the...
Madam Chair, I move that we pass the resolution setting the authority to sign checks and other warrants for and in behalf of the City Government of Naga as stated in the request.
Any second? Okay, approve. Next item.
The matter of the proposed resolution of the Honorable De Rosario.
Honorable Rosales.
Next is the proposed resolution of Honorable Rosales.
Honorable Rosales. Ay, ni-approve na ini. Honorable Rosales.
Given, Madam Chair, the establishment of the CSO desk office under Executive Order 2021-003, it is imperative for us to seek for the said office to lead the compliance of the city government under the guidelines provided in the ILG Memorandum Circular number 2022-083. The said CSO desk is at present headed by the designated personnel in the name of Mr. Johan De La Rosa. He is named in the last part of the proposed resolution. May I therefore move for the passage of the resolution directing the CSO desk officer to conduct an inventory of CSOs in the city of Naga for the update of the CSO directory and lead the city's compliance with the guidelines provided under DILG Memorandum Circular number 2022-083 for the accreditation of CSOs. I have also invited, I am inviting Madam Chair, the Chair of the Committee on People to be my co-author in this proposed resolution.
So, any second? So the sponsors are Honorable Rosales and Honorable Gail Abanal Gomez. Approve. Next item.
Unfinished business. Letter dated July 5, 2022 of the Acting SP Secretary to the City Planning and Development Officer and the City Budget Officer inviting them to the regular session on July 12, 2022 to enlighten the Sangguniang Panlungsod on the advantages and disadvantages of Naga being classified as a highly urbanized city.
I-invite nyo si PDO. Madigdi na. Okay. So we defer this temporarily and proceed to the next, Mayo pa man. Pasiring pa lang. So ano anta muna? Next item. We defer this temporarily.
Letter dated 15 June 2022 of Mr. Rene F. Gumba, PSO Head, seeking clarification as to whether or not the accreditation of volunteer groups provided under City Ordinance number 2021-038 for purposes of deputation is the same as the accreditation as non-government or people's organization by the city government under City Ordinance number 95092.
Isa yung Okay, the former chair of the Committee on People Empowerment, Honorable Rosales.
Yes, Madam Chair. This was a matter taken up in the 13th Sangguniang Panlungsod, And this was referred to the PSO Committee on Accreditation for the deputization of traffic volunteers. Kaya lang, Madam Chair, I agree with the observation of the PSO head. Sa surat po talaga ninda, nakalaag, ang intention is to apply for accreditation in the Sangguniang Panlungsod. However, Madam Chair, there were cases in the past na ang intention na nakalaag sa surat for accreditation with the SP on the basis of City Ordinance 95-092. Pero, ang gusto talaga nila, for deputization with the PSO for traffic volunteers. I must suggest, Madam Chair, that we must clarify that to the organizations seeking for accreditations. Hindi po makakasimbag kung ano po ang purpose kang tigahagad ng accreditation. But if we will have to take it on face value, this would have to be referred to the Committee on People Empowerment since nakalag po talaga sa surat, accreditation with the SP. And perhaps you can just clarify it with them once they have appeared to the SP Committee for clarifications.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Rosales. So we refer this to the Committee on People Empowerment. Can we now go back to item number 1? Mr. Pilias is already around. Honorable Perez.
Good morning, Madam Chair. First of all, we would like to commend the City Councilor from Kararayan for initiating this move and doing the groundworks for our intention to seek the presidential declaration declaring Naga as a highly urbanized city. During last week's session, of course, there was no objection, but during the last session, I raised the issue of wanting to know the pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages of having the city declared as a highly urbanized city. We owe it to our constituents for them to intelligently understand what constitutes or why we should be declared as a highly urbanized city. And so it was suggested that we may invite the city planning officer and other concerned officers to enlighten us on this proposal so that we can again resubmit as advised by Malacanang our resolution seeking such presidential declaration. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. So may we request Mr. Willie Prillas, rules are suspended as to the query as to the advantage and disadvantages kung kita magiging classified as a highly urbanized city.
Thank
Na
you,
may
Your Honor.
tigpasarki ang resolution ng Sanggunian.
Thank you, Your Honors. Maray Naga po sa Indagabos. My opinion is presumed on the assumption that we have already met the two requirements of, for being declared as HUC, which is that we have a population of at least 200,000 and that we have an income of 50 million based on 1991 prices. So the question now is, what are the upsides and the downsides of being an HUC? At this point, we're already an independent component city. The only upside of being an HUC is that we're taken away from the control and supervision of the province. But being an ICC, we already enjoyed that. So the only value added is that, of course, the prestige that comes with it. We joined the ranks of the 33 HUCs in the Philippines right now, so that elevates that to that category. Unfortunately, I looked at the charter declaring the cityhood of HUCs in Metro Manila. And there is a provision there that says that once you become an HUC, there is a 5-year moratorium on the increase of taxes. My sense is that might bind our hands. Based on the numbers we've crunched and based on the direction set by the mayor during the ELA, I think we'll reach a point where we have to expand our tax base. That the 5-year moratorium will definitely limit our capability to do that. Beyond the prestige, there is no upside to being an HUC right now. Once we are ready, I think that's the time we pursue it. But we should put our house in order first, secure our local finances, ensure that we're able to generate local revenues. For instance, I don't know if you realize that at this point, Legazpi has overtaken Naga in terms of local revenue generation. Why? Because they have already, before COVID, adopted more updated set of real property values. We have not done that. I think the last time we have updated our real property values in the city was before 2010. So if we do not do something about it in the next few years, that will seriously limit our capability to generate our own source revenues, and therefore limit our capability to finance the programs and projects that the current administration has identified. So beyond that, to me there is no upside to being converted into an HUC. We're already enjoying the benefits of being an HUC as an independent component city. My recommendation is we should expand our tax base first, ensure that we are generating more revenues before we come to that. Because it's there anyway. There's no urgency for me to aspire for being an HUC without being prepared for it. The other point I'd like to make is that there are HUCs that have already went through the process but did not push through with it or were constrained from completing the process. A good example would be Cabanatuan. Cabanatuan, of course, is already a major city in Central Luzon. In 2014, it applied for HUC, but it reached the Supreme Court because the province of Nueva Ecija contested the coverage of the plebiscite, because a plebiscite will have to be conducted. And the Supreme Court agreed with the province of Nueva Ecija. The people who should decide the plebiscite should be the entire province of Nueva Ecija and not only Cabanatuan. So that effectively derailed the bid of Cabanatuan. But Naga will be, I think, different from Cabanatuan, because Cabanatuan was voting for the provincial officials and Cabanatuan was contributing to the era of that's the main contention of the case. Naga, on the other hand, since its creation, has not been contributing any tax to Camarines. So it can be argued that if ever a plebiscite is going to be held, it's only going to be within Camarines, within Naga City. But there is that decision, and that can pose a risk to that bid to become an HUC. So that's my sense at this moment, Your Honors.
Honorable Perez.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Priles. That was really unfortunate na sa ngunyan mayong upside na masasabi with that proposal. But there is also a fury, for the lack of word, I use the word theory, na because of that prestige, when you are declared a highly urbanized city, that will serve as a magnet to investors and even international financial or development establishments, companies, agencies to come to Naga for that prestige. And it would also make Naga a very fertile ground for a new hub for whatever new investments would be coming to the country, especially in South Luzon, especially that Naga is in a strategic position as the center of commerce in Bicol. After all, si ibang facilities kang region would also serve as a complementary facilities sa Naga as a highly urbanized city. I'm referring to the international airport in Albay, or a forthcoming international port na pwedeng complementary, contributory sa bagong imahen kang syudad bilang highly urbanized city. Well, nakakatakot man talaga itong sinabi mo na we might be constrained as to, because of that prestige, may karibay na financial downside in form of taxation. But of course, we have been through that through the years na dahil kita nagdadagdag ng taxes. We have triumph over such difficulty. Kaya nga ni yaon si mga awards ta, but as a component city. Are you convinced? I mean, may kadikit man kayang katotohanan ining theory na pwedeng ining sa tuyang bagong titulo maging magnet for such investors na I mentioned earlier.
Yes. I agree, Your Honor. That I recognize that that is an upside that we have to deal with. There is, of course, the possibility, the very real possibility that Naga will attract more investors if it becomes an HUC. So we have to balance that reality with the downsides I mentioned. But let me also point out that once we graduate from being an independent component city, in the annual search for most competitive cities in the Philippines, we will now be competing with the 33 other independent, highly urbanized. So my sense is we will most probably start the middle, unlike if we stay for a while, or at least for the next 5 years with being an independent component city. There is a high probability that we will always be in the top 10. But once we graduate to an ICC, then we will be competing with the likes of Makati, Pasay, etc., etc. So that will be an uphill climb. And if that is going to be the case, then that might cancel out the upside that being an HUC brings to the city. But of course, at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision. The other consideration, of course, is that there might be hand-wringing if Legazpi overtakes us in reaching that status. But then again, between Naga and Legazpi, Legazpi will have to deal more directly with the consequences of that Supreme Court decision, because it's a component city of Albay. So Albay is going to be consulted in the plebiscite. I think Naga can make a very good argument that it's different from the situation of Legazpi. So the plebiscite should only be held within Naga.
Within Naga. Okay, thank you, Willie. Honorable Del Castillo.
It will be a big challenge for Naga if we will be declared as highly urbanized city. Why? We have to level up dahil kita dapat makontento sa sitwasyon taon yan. Pero kita complacent na we are independent component city. Ang kalaban tas mga saradit-sadit na syudad. Dapat kung kita manggana duman sa 33 highly urbanized city, is a fit for Naga. And dapat mag-level up kita. Bako lang sa serbisyo. Tapos pati planning in other aspect of governance, we should level up. Dapat na kita makontento sa presenting sitwasyon. And it will, as the Honorable Perez had mentioned, it might encourage additional investment for Naga with the facilities na available sa Bicol region. So, I think, ako, dahil kung kayo interesado sa sa mga award na ina nakukuha, kung ang serbisyo na pigtatauta, parehas mang giraran. We should level up. For me, Madam Chair, we should really try harder to give the best services for Naga City. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Honorable Perez.
Sa totoo lang, without being boastful, medyo kontento naman kita sa mga nakuatang awards. In fact, nakakasawa na nga ni year in and year out, yaong kita sa most competitive city, but as a component city. And we also at one instance realized na kadakol ng component city na who are racing towards the #1 spot. May mga times na we were overtaken by smaller cities na component in that category. And I would also like to remind the body na at one time, si contest sa competitive city, they classify si component sa highly urbanized. And we were on the top 10. Pero if I'm not mistaken, garo third place kita. After Cebu and Manila maybe. Nakabalik kita duman. And although, iba siguro si Kuya duman, si mga requirements, si criteria, but well, that's the fact na nakabalik kita sa competition na yan. Besides, pakuman lang yan ang lalaugan tang mga competition. May mga iba pa. And time changes. Baka may mga bago na naman. Baka mag-adjust. Iyan ang kabali sa challenge ta. Besides, I would like to inform the body na yung man yan ang direksyon kang Legazpi, maging HUC. Mahalat pa kitang mainutan kita?
Okay.
Well, of course, it's a friendly competition, pero di ba kita tuod na nainutan kita? And yun na nga niyan, tinatantang sa dirita ng mas nakulang challenge with this intention of being declared as a highly urbanized city. Remember na mayo pa pong highly urbanized city sa Bicol throughout these years, despite the awards that we had been getting left and right.
Thank you,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Perez. Honorable Kylie Trifulca.
I would just like to go back to the observation of Sir Willie when he said that Naga City is already benefiting from the advantages of being an HUC despite being an ITC still. So, for the benefit of the public, Madam Chair, maybe we can ask Sir Willie what these benefits are po.
Willie?
The primary benefit is that we are freed from the control and supervision of the province. The laws of the passed by the Sangguniang does not go through the review of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, unlike Legazpi. Also, the taxes that we collect accrue exclusively to Naga City. We don't share that with the provincial government of Camarines Sur, and we are under the direct supervision also of the President. That's the reason why even in the IATF issuances, Naga is the only city that is being declared under a certain category independent of Camarines Sur. So that is the main advantage. But insofar as other benefits, there are to me there are none. But I can be wrong.
Thank you, Willie. Thank you. Okay, Honorable Del Castillo.
Perez submention. Kung ang Legazpi nag-aspire maging highly urbanized city, Legazpi is a component city of the province of Albay. Ang mga ordinansa ninda subject to review of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Their annual budget is subject to review of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Naga City is the only city in Bicol region which does not participate in the provincial election of provincial officials. So, iyon na yan ang, kumbaga, iyon na yan ang built-in advantage ka Naga na under existing provisions of the local government code, there will be no need for any plebiscite, unlike Cabanatuan and other component cities na before you can be classified as highly urbanized city, you should undergo plebiscite, voting, the whole province voting either in favor or against the conversion of a city to a highly urbanized city. Naga is not subject to that requirement under the law. So, because we are not voting for provincial officials. So, for me, Madam Chair, we should grab that opportunity. It's a big opportunity for Naga. Baka mainutan pa kita kan Ligaspi.
Okay, thank you,
Kung
Honorable.
magpapara bugal-bugal kita, mainutan pa kita kan Ligaspi.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Anyway, the purpose why we invited Mr. Pilles is to enlighten the Sanggunian, but we have already passed the resolution, the request to the Office of the President. So, we thank Mr. Pilles for
Thank you, Your Honor.
giving us his time. Thank you, Mr. Pilles. We acknowledge the presence of the City Budget Officer. Okay, next item. Presentation. Mr. Pilles. I see, sir. Frank. Mr. Mendoza. The highly urbanized road to...
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning. Very briefly, just want to show kung ano po si requested na evaluation, benefit in cost. Ano po ang benefit kung sakaling gibagat ang HUC? Actually, si Instruction Samuya, ipahiling ko ano si benefit in cost. Pero siguro pilitang dapat i-rephrase yan, who would benefit and who will shoulder the cost. Now, initially po, kung kita maging HUC, kabustang empleyado will receive 100% kadtong salary standardization rate. Sangon niya, 95% po kita. So, that's the first benefit. Second benefit, ang City Vice Mayor from SG26 magiging SG28. Next po, kabos na mga members kan Sanggunian, from SG25 magiging SG27. Si Mayor po, stay put sa SG30, regardless whether ngunyan o maging HUC. Next, what other benefit or who would benefit? Elevation of salary grades ka mga heads of departments from SG25 to SG26. Iyo man si mga assistant department heads from SG23 to SG24. And ito pong rata ta, sangon niya 95%, we will get the full rata at 100%. Ano pong impact sa iba? Essentially, it's neutral. Tax rates, may maning special rate ang HUC. So, depende sa sanggunan, kung lang kawan o dai. So, it's the same. Next, ano magigigitang sarong congressional district? Ang si magpakin, dai, as our population is still below the 250,000 threshold. Kung hiligon ta po si growth rate na 1.3 something, it will take us around 14 to 15 years para makuha po ang 250,000 population. Next. Pag-abot sa IRA, the same ang giraray. HUC has no spatial allocation formula pag-abot sa national tax allocation. So, in effect, neutral pong effect. Ano ang pinaka-pakinabang ta? Selling ko si bragging right na kita highly urbanized city. Anong kaipuhan para magkikitang highly urbanized? First requirement, si population po, ang minimum requirement is 200,000. Sangon yan, as of the last census, 209,000 na po kita pasado. Pag-abot sa income, basado po sa local government code, dapat 50 million ang income ta at 1991 constant prices. So ang hapot kayan, anong income tangon yan? Equivalent sa 50 million in 1991. So, ang sabi po sa local government, si last income, pero may pinaluwas po ang Department of Finance ng Department Order na ang annual income na pigi-refer is the average ka nakaaging 4 na taon in 1991 pesos. Next. Para po makompute yan, Kumbaga, itong income ta for the past 4 years, 2018 to 2021, assuming ma-apply kita ngunyan, i-convert ta yan into 1991 peso, i-average ta, kung iyan maglampas 50 million, pasado po kita. Pero may simpleng paagi kayan, next, 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 next. Diba na lang sa sunod na slide? Medyo komplikado ito. Ang ginibumi po, imbis na kunon ta si 1991 value kang income ta for the past 4 years, ang ginibumi, kinuha ta si value kang 50 million in 2019 peso, kinonvert ta into their current value. So ang 50 million kang 2018, that's equivalent to 210 million, 210.3 million. Kinompare ta yan duman sa income kang 2018, which is 1.1 billion. Pasado po kita. 221 2019, again, actually sa gabos pong taon, mas halangkaw ang actual income ta for those years compared to the 50 million in 2019 pesos na kuwata si present value for those individual years. Kumbaga, in summary, pasado po kita sa income requirement. Okay. Anong dapat ang ibuhon para maging HUC kita? Number 1, certification from the City Treasurer and the BLGF ng income ta for the past 4 years is more than the 50 million in 1991 values. Next, certification siyempre kang PSA na kita namita na si population requirement. Next, submita po sa Malacanang. Yan mga documents na yan. Of course, with the mayor's cover letter in the SP resolution. Next, ang presidente po has 30 days to declare Naga City as highly urbanized city. Basado po yan sa local government code. And upon declaration, ang COMELEC po makandak ng plebisito among qualified voters. Kumbaga, pagluwas po kang presidential proclamation, ipipresent sa tao for plebisito. Nasabi po ni Councilor Buddy na dahil na kayo po ng plebisito, sa case po kang Cabanatuan City, may Supreme Court decision kayan. Tapos question ni Governor Umali, anong ito di kami ibabali sa plebisito kang Cabanatuan? Ang Cabanatuan from component, naging HUC. Ang sabi kang Supreme Court, dapat haputon ang provincial government na may impact sa inda ang pag-convert kang Cabanatuan from component to HUC. Pero sa case kang Naga, garumay maning impact sa probinsya, kaya baka pwedeng Naga City lang ang plebisito. Okay, I respect si opinion po ni Councilor Buddy. Okay. Anyway, that's what I got. Next. So, pasado man kita, pwede kita maging HUC by 2023. Kaya lang, may implikasyon po ini sa personal services ta. Dinulig ka itong paglangkaw ka mga salary grades, malangkaw po ang PS ta. Just to show, kan 2021, ang actual expenditure ta for PS is 480. Ang PS ceiling ta, 505, kaya makikita ang problema, well below sa PS ceiling. Kan 2022, the same, ang ceiling is 553, actual tang gasto is 540. Next year, nagbaba po ang PE ceiling dahil ang reference rate, COVID year. Kaya buminababa ng ceiling, naging siyang 531.25 billion. Now, kung si dati po mga empleyado, i-retain ta, pati na si mga vacant position, ang kay pontang PS requirement for next year, following the implementation of the final tranche kang SSSL, is 556 billion. Kung baga, mas halangkaw kaysa PS ceiling, may problema kita dyan. Higher by 25 million. Kung ilalawag ta pa si mga adjustments sa salary grades, malanggaw pa po yan. So, ano ang pilit ang gibuhon? 1, pwedeng bawasan ta si empleyado, si mga non-essential and non-performing, linigon ta. Number 1, temporarily po, i-unfund si bagay vacant plantilla position. In fact, we have to do it next year, whether magkikitang HUC o DAI, na talagang lampas po kita. Next, i-forgo to sa ibang benepisyo. Halimbawa, next year may anniversary bonus, may PBB, pwede tamo ng igilid. And finally, we can implement the SSL on a pro rata basis. Kumbaga baka mangyararay 100% but at a certain percentage. So yun po si situation ta. Number one, on the query, are we qualified? Yes. Number two, benefit. Actually, sa lingko pa kung benefit or cost ang pag-urulahin, kundi who would benefit? Essentially ang mabenepisyo po, city officials and employees. So it's up to the Sangguniang to weigh those cost and benefit and decide whether we should be an HUC or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Kay Honorable Del Castillo.
Mr. Mendoza for that concise presentation. For me, Madam Chair, it's not important. The adjustment of salary grade is not so important. What is important is the challenge that we pass on us. Siya atubangon tang challenges. If we will be declared as highly urbanized city. I understand that Cabanatuan is a component city and they are voting for provincial officials. That's why when Cabanatuan City applied to be an HUC, a plebiscite what was conducted in the entire province of Nueva Ecija to determine whether the voters of the province will agree that Cabanatuan City will be separated from the province of Nueva Ecija in terms of voting for provincial officials in other matters that pertains to the governance of Cabanatuan. Because previously, as I've mentioned, the ordinance is passed by a component city is subject to review of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. The same as Legazpi, they are subject to review of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. Kaya unique ang kaso Naga. And we are only, if I'm not mistaken, pero kung bakong tulo, 4 lang kita sa intirong Pilipinas na araw kaya. And I think we should grab the opportunity because as far as the legal requirement is concerned, pasado kita. And I will, if it is necessary that we get a certification from the Bureau of Local Government Finance, personally, I'm willing to go to the central office of the Bureau of Local Government Finance just to secure that certification. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Honorable Perez.
Given that independent component city kita, pero ikaw mag-reply visit nagigibuhon as to the declaration kundi within the city, among the city constituents lang. Dahil kabali ang non-nagenyo. Kaya ikaw mag-reply bisito. And secondly, bago kita makabot sa plebisito, hahalatunta mo na itong presidential declaration. Is that correct?
30 days.
Okay. Ngunyan, so, maluhod manggirara kita sa Malacanang as to the final blessing. Although by the time, siguro kompleto na ang papelista to make Malacanang, for Malacanang to not to approve our request. Mayo siyang rason para disapproveran si Satuyang request. And I'm sure na madali na lang i-mobilize si Satuyang kampanya sa mga taga-Naga if we have the right arguments, the right data, and sincere intention for this declaration of Naga as HUC. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Perez. So thank you, Mr. Prilles, and Mr. Another question, comment, Honorable Del Rosario.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I request, Tin, pwedeng pahiling mo itong transmittal kang Office of the President. Yung last week, yung transmittal lang Office of the President.
Kang last week. Yun na yan.
In the letter, Madam Chair, from the Secretary, there was mentioned there the direction to the sender that whatever documents that will be submitted, whatever documents will be submitting will be evaluated by the concerned agencies. Nasa last paragraph of the letter. Should the said request be resubmitted during the next administration, meaning this administration, the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Naga is advised to attach the comments and recommendations of the new leadership of concerned agencies and other requirements. Concerned agencies meaning PSA, DBM, BLGF, etc., etc. There was a mention there na daw ko si Sir Frank. Duman Sir Frank sa computation mo of the annual income, 50 million compared to anong years to? Pwedeng pahiling ta itong 1991.
19, ano nga niya.
Gusto ko lang ni Madam Chair siguro, pakiling si presentation ni Sir Frank.
Itong sa itong kay Frank, itong based on 1991. Si presentation ni
Yan. Okay.
Ayan, yan.
Sir Frank, gusto ko lang masiguro ini, sige ginamit mong formula, I don't doubt your expertise Pero ining formulang ginamit ay di human ang formulang gagamiton kang evaluator to evaluate.
Madam Chair, ang gagamitin kang evaluator, yan actual income na, let's say sa 2018, 1.1 million. Ibabacktrack ninda yan sa 1991 value. I-atras ninda. Using the consumer price index, okay, sa inflation rate for the various years. Kaya lang, for my purpose, medyo mapagal yan. Primero, ang data kang PSA, tara-tara please ang period kang inflation. Si Baser ninda, pabarabago, kaya komplikado. So, may nakuha akong website na using those inflation rate, i-advance si value kang kwarta, bakong i-atras. Kaya ang ginibo ko, para mahiling ta kung pasado ko tauda si 50 million kan 1991, in-advance ko to 2018, 2019, 2020. Comparable na sinda. They fall within the same time period. Kaya pwede tanang masabi na ang income ta sa kang 2018 lampas pa sa income ta kang lampas sa 50 million
Si value.
in 1991 values.
Okay. So with this, Madam Chair, I'm confident na itong parameters na ito na sinasabi, na-surpass na ito. With this research sa piggandak ni Sir Frank. And duman sa sinasabi, Madam Chair, na thank you, Sir Frank. Duman sa sinasabi na iatubang tani sa tao, mas maringani na iatubang ta sa tao through a plebiscite kung maaprubahan kang Office of the President. Because diyan ta maaraman, Madam Chair, kung igwa kita ning suporta sa mass base when it comes to not only sa politika but sa mga arog kaning mga initiatives. Namamati talaga ninda ang mga ginigibong programa kang city government, executive, legislative, sa iba pa, to address their concerns, urban poor, housing, education, etc. etc. Kaya siguro medyo talihis itong sinasabi na ang direct na benefit sa mga empleyado lang. Because kung i-ratify inikan tao, bako lang empleyado magkinabang. It's the whole city. It's the whole city. So, Madam Chair, I strongly believe na given na we qualify sa mga criteria ang pigset, i-push na ini, Madam Chair. Actually, kung nagpasar na kita palan kanikan si mga inot pa, dapat nga ni palan pig sigido ta. Pero may mga concerns kadto, So baka ngunyan i-ano ta na. So whatever na anyway, nag-ano naman si Attorney Rosales, Madam Chair, ng resolution last session. And I believe na napaliwanagan kita, mas pa rin. And kung sakali man, moving forward, Madam Chair, kung sakali man aprubahan ini kang Office of the President, politics aside, kung aprubahan ini, we will intensify our campaign sa mga tao. Tangal ipaintindi sinda. We will vigorously campaign and we will ask the assistance just of the barangay officials. Arog kang ginibon ninda kang kampanyata sa COVID. Kaya nga ni mabilison si pakaabutan duman sa numero kan si nabakunahan kasi nagsuporta sinda sa mga programa kang lokal na gobyerno under Mayor Ligacion and the Vice Mayor Nene Diazis. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. So, Honorable Del Castillo, wrap it up.
I think everybody has aired their side. So if there are no more queries, on joint and collective motion, I move that we pass a resolution requesting the Office of the President to proclaim Naga based on Section 452 of the Local Government Code as a highly urbanized city.
On joint and collective motion. Approve. Next item. Thank you, Mr. Prilles and Mr. Mendoza. Next. Ina na. Uli ko itong sunod pang resolution. Anong resolution?
SBO number 9. We'll go back to SBO number 9, ma'am. The proposed resolution of Honorable Joselito. As one of the outstanding school leaders of the year during the second Insta-Bright International Awards for Educators organized by the Insta-Bright International Guild of Researchers and Educators Incorporated.
Honorable Del.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to propose a resolution through a joint and collective motion that we commend and congratulate Dr. Yapor. Dati po siyang teacher sa Naga City Science High School before being chosen as the Dean of the College of Education sa Central Bicol State University of Agriculture. And ini pong Insta-Bright International Guild of Researchers and Educators, Madam Chair, prestigious group which highlights outstanding researchers and studies in the field of education and other expertise. So, joint the collective motion, Madam Chair, we commend the efforts of Dr. Yapor, worthy of public acknowledgement and commendation. Thank you, Madam.
On joint and collective motion?
Yes, yes.
On joint and collective motion. Approved. Next item.
First endorsement dated July 8, 2022, Abisano the City Mayor, endorsing the Memorandum of Agreement between the University of Nueva Cáceres and the City Government of Naga relative to the utilization of the city swimming pool, athletic field, and other sports facilities for the former physical education program for ratification.
Honorable Perez.
This matter has been exhaustively deliberated on sa Committee on City Properties in the 13th Sangguniang Panlungsod, and it was in fact submitted for consideration for approval by the plenary when I reported out the committee hearing on that matter, and it was favorably endorsed that the mayor should enter into a memorandum of agreement with the University of Nueva Cáceres with the condition that the proposed schedule of physical education classes and sports activities to be held at the sports complex be submitted before the start of the classes, and the university said they could only submit it at the start of the school year when schedule of classes have been finalized. So, Madam Chair, this body in the last session, in the last Sanggunian, has ministerially approved to endorse said request to the office of the mayor. And so I, again, would like to move that such request be
Ratification. This is for ratification.
be ratified by this body.
Okay, any second? Okay, approved. Next item.
Committee report to the Committee on Environment and Energy.
Who is Environment is Honorable Jill Rosales, Chairman. O yan o, be naman nung committee report.
May I request acknowledgement of the report of the Committee on Environment
Your
and
report
Energy.
is acknowledged.
There was a quorum, Madam Chair, and only one matter was taken up. The letter dated June 28, 2022 of Mr. June F. Gumabon, General Manager, JFGR Trading, submitting quotation for the supply, delivery, and technical supervision for the installation of the Ecological Zero Waste Processing Plant. May I proceed to the disposition, Madam Chair?
Proceed.
The committee resolved to refer the matter to the City Environment and Natural Resources Office and the City Solid Waste Management Office for their evaluation and appropriate recommendation. And another disposition, direct the Sangguniang Secretariat to furnish a copy of Ordinance Number 2019-034 to the JFGR Trading for their reference and information. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay.
That ends my report.
Secretary is instructed. Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Is it appropriate or can we give them time para may ano ba 10 days or 15 days or
Okay.
para aramtaman ko no arin ang period kang kung okay sa chair, Madam Chair.
Itong ano?
Is there
Item number letter A,
Item
yung letter
number
A.
1, para may time frame hanggang na rin sila pwedeng magtaon.
15 days, Madam Chair. We can add in the disposition as recommended by the Honorable Del Rosario to the
Na rin sila
recommendation and report of the said offices to be submitted to the Sanggunian.
Tirang ano daw.
15 days po, Madam Chair.
15 days. Thank you, Honorable Rosales. Next item.
Letter dated July 11, 2022 of His Honor, the City Mayor, submitting the memorandum of the deed of donation between the executed by and between the City Government of Naga and Mr. Eduardo F. Mercado for the donation of the 100,000 square meter property now occupied.
Eduardo Mercado.
On joint and collective motion. Next item.
New business. Item number 1, undated letter of Mr. Alan Abogado, carnival operator, expressing his intent to put up a carnival and pera on the duration of the Peña Pancha Fiesta from August 15 to September 30,
Games, Committee on
2022.
Games and Amusement. Next.
Undated letter signed by Emilia del Castillo and others requesting for the construction of the road project in Sitio Badang, Zone 4, Carayan, this city.
Ito ba yan? Okay, Honorable Del Rosario. Ulit ko kay Mayor.
I received this letter from one of the signatories. May pigpasa ko, Madam Chair, sa Secretariat for the plenary's disposition. Siguro sa request nila, Madam Chair, is siguro extension kang tinampo ninda sa Sitio Badang. Okay. Siguro we refer this to the appropriate committee, Madam Chair.
Committee on Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Okay, Honorable Del Castillo.
Should be done is to donate the road right of way, the appropriate width of a road right of way to the city before we can further proceed. Dahil private property yan na aragyan kay Madam Chair. So iyan ang primerong pwedeng dapat gibuhon.
So we will not refer it to the appropriate to Committee on Infrastructure?
Mga private property, so may prohibition ang kuwan na kita pwede magastos sa sarong private property. So dapat pen yan. So siguro i-refer tango na sa committee.
So Committee on Infrastructure. Next item. Si chairman na lang magsabi sa inda na kaipuhan na i-donate muna ninda. Next.
Letter dated June 13, 2022 of Ms. Vita Dirica Frente, Bacolod Street, Jimenez Park Subdivision, Naga City, requesting for the construction of drainage along Bacolod Street.
Committee on Infrastructure.
Also, Madam Chair, I received this letter. So, siguro sa Committee on Infrastructure.
Committee on Infrastructure. Next item.
Letter dated July 6, 2022 of Engineer Joel P. Martin, CSWMO Head, requesting for authority to the City Mayor to enter into a memorandum of agreement with Environmental Management Bureau Region 5 relative to the grant of 1 unit 20-footer container and 63 units 100-liter capacity yellow bins with roller as part of the Bureau support to LGU Naga City in the preliminary and disinfection and storage facilities for collected COVID-19 related waste.
Di ba pwedeng ano man lang MOA, to enter into a MOA. Do we still refer this to a committee? Committee on? May Honorable Del Rosario.
With the approval of the committee, chair of the Committee on Rules, this concerns granting authority to the Office of the Mayor. Siguro we can transfer this to the SBO. And we give authority to the mayor, subject to the application of the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
We don't need to, Honorable Del Castillo. The Honorable Del Rosario is suggesting that we transfer it to special business in order and grant the mayor the authority to enter into a MOA. Mga COVID-19 related waste ini. Disinfection and storage facilities for collected COVID-19 related waste. Sindesim, ano pa itong container? I-donate sa tuya itong ano? SBO. Item number 10?
11.
Item number
11. 11.
On joint and collective motion. Next item.
Proposed ordinance authored by City Youth Councilor Mary Flor V. Barde and Ma Sierin Luila B. Bayrante and sponsored by Honorable Hilda J. R. Abunal Gomez, granting a scholarship benefit to the Naga City youth officials during their term of office.
And we refer this to the Committee on Education, Youth, Scholarship, Education, Committee on Education. Next item.
Letter dated July 6, 2022 of J. Enrique A. Mansur of Barangay Tabuco, this city, requesting assistance on the very poor and unreliable water supply of Metro Naga Water District. Related letter.
Related is Public Utilities, item 6 and 6A. Next.
This Friday, Madam Chair, at 10 a.m.
Okay, committee hearing on Friday.
Committee on Public Utilities.
Paki-invite ining duwang nagpadara ng surat. And also MNWD. Next item.
Letter dated July 7, 2022, Abisano the City Mayor, requesting for an ordinance reverting to an appropriated balance, the amount of 3,873,425.97 from salary savings of various departments and offices as of June 30, 2022, and appropriating the amount of 2 million to fuel, oil, and lubricant expenses and the
Committee
balance.
on Appropriation. Next item.
The proposed ordinance of Honorable Rosales.
Honorable Rosales. Laws and Ordinances. Next.
Other matters. Letter dated July 4, 2022 of Francis Gladys Belminabad, NCPC Executive Director, providing the official list of NCPC representatives to the SP committees, local special bodies, task forces, and councils.
Noted. Next item.
Letter of the LG Memorandum dated June 15, 2022 with subject dissemination of FDA Advisory Number 2022-10-1068, 2022-1069, 2022-1070, 2022-1071, and 2022-1072, all dated May 18, 2022, on the mandatory requirements of a license to operate for vapor product and heated tobacco products establishments, and ban on the vapor product in liquid solutions, refills, and cartridges.
So we take note. Next item.
Second quarter 2022 status report of the police administrative cases investigated, adjudicated by the People's Law Enforcement Board, Naga City.
Noted. And we can also furnish a copy to the Committee on Public Safety. Next item.
Report of the second quarter QRRPA of the Naga City Assessor's Office.
Noted.
And last item, letter dated July 4, 2022 of the PCL National President Handy T. Lau, providing certain documents relative to the conduct of city chapter election of Naga City on August 1.
Noted. Okay, we'll have your election on August 1. Honorable Del Rosario.
I am inviting I will present to you my agenda.
Take note, the city councilors. May 3. Okay, Honorable Del Castillo.
For those who are interested to run, the forms for certificate of candidacy is in my position.
So
So
you file your certificate of candidacy.
Kuang form, just contact me.
Okay, noted. Next item.
Nominal voting.
Honorable Del Castillo.
Madam Chair, I move that we transfer all resolutions and ordinances to nominal voting and approve the same.
Any second? Approve. Next item.
Move to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Any second? Session is adjourned. Matibay talaga ang rules.